Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Palpable Pages. If you don't know me, my name is Alicia, and today I wanted to review the book, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. And this is the very first book of hers I've ever read. I'm very intrigued to read more now, but this book quickly made it to the front of my list. I have a big list, a very long list. I've made multiple trips to Barnes & Noble and Books A Million, and I have a whole list of books I got off Amazon. I'm like, I have 6 months worth of reading to do, but I have a book buying problem. I like to actually physically own and read the books and have them in hand. I like the smell and texture of a book. I haven't made the transition to Kindle yet. I bought digital movies, getting there, but not with books. Anyways, so this book made it to the top of the list very quickly because it's a New York Times bestseller with more than 2 million copies sold. It also is on the Reese's book club list. You can see that here. And also this other sticker here is letting you know that it is now a TV series on Apple. So there's a lot of hype, and I came across the TV series on Apple because I have Apple TV, and I really wanted to watch it, but I'm like, no, I know this is a book. I've had a friend just finished reading this book. It's been passed around the hospital that I work at, and I was really wanting to read the book. I already bought this a couple months ago. It's on the list, and it just moved its way up quicker so I can watch the TV series. I'm really intrigued. And I also found out that Jennifer Garner is in the TV series. I love her. Maybe not everybody, but Jaime from Game of Thrones is her husband, I believe, on the TV series, and then of course Jennifer Garner playing the wife. So I like the cast already. It's gonna be good. I really hope it is, but I wanted to read the book first. I have a big pet peeve of watching movies before I read the books, and it's like, I don't know. After I watch the show or movie, whatever, I lose the interest of spending the amount of time to read the book because I already know what's gonna happen pretty much, and then I'm just gonna be upset when I find out something that's like, hey, that's not right. I know it can go on the reverse with, movies, but it's, an hour movie, an hour of my life is gone, wow. But it's different for books, investing a lot of time in something and you already know the story and then you're disappointed. That's a lot of time to be wasted, in my opinion. I have to read the book first. I'm very glad that I did. I enjoyed this book. I want to see what the hype was all about, and it has a lot of interesting details. It's really not that long of a book, really. Let me get here. What, 300 pages, something? Oh, yes, 304. No, 303 pages. So it's pretty short, pretty quick read. I was reading this while juggling a bunch of other things going on this week at home, but it's pretty good. It was a really good book. There's a lot of twists and turns, and I really like that she kind of, instead of just saying chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on, and she doesn't like go back and forth in time, just like saying like she does, but she doesn't like just title that chapter like the time period or just chapter 1. She gives it all like its own name. Like this chapter is when we were young. So like each chapter is set up to be like an episode, a TV series episode, and kind of like on Friends, the one where and that's like each episode is titled the one where they do something. And so I like that she actually gave her chapters titles. So you don't see that a whole lot in a lot of the newer books that I bought recently. So that's creative. And so like after I read the chapter, then I go back, I'm like, okay, this was titled that. I'm like, oh, okay, that was a good name for the chapter. Oh, okay, silly. But it was a good read. I like the storyline. Of course, it's a mystery. It says the last thing he told me, so it's obviously about her husband, Owen. There's a woman named Hannah, and it's about her husband, Owen, who disappears very suddenly, and he sends her a message. So there's a message that's given to her from someone unexpected in a very unexpected way, and she opens the letter and it just says one small tidbit: protect her. I'm not giving, that's not spoilers. On the back of the book it says protect her, so I can say that that's the message: protect her. And she automatically knows who it's about. It's about his daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. And so the book kind of has this like love-hate relationship and this growing of this relationship between the main character Hannah, Jennifer Garner, and the daughter, Bailey. So I like this book really because it reminds me of the movie Stepmom. If you've ever seen that movie Stepmom, I love that movie. But in Stepmom, it's Susan Sarandon, Julie Roberts. Julie Roberts has a hard time bonding with her stepchildren, and you get to see that relationship grow between the characters. And in this book, it's a big part of it is that relationship between the stepmom and Bailey, who don't have a great relationship, and now they're having to work together to find out what happened to Bailey's dad and Hannah's husband, Owen. Owen disappears unexpectedly after his boss is arrested, and so I don't want to give away too much. Let me see if it's on. Okay. Smuggles a note to his daughter, says protect her, blah blah. Okay. So the FBI arrests Owen's boss as a U.S. Marshal and federal agents arrive at her house. So she is having to deal with the police. He's not a suspect or anything right at that moment. He's disappeared, so they're just trying to talk to him at that point. But at first, she's just trying to figure out what happened to him and get to the bottom of it before the police do. And then she starts uncovering a lot more than she bargained for, and a bigger, way bigger story than what she ever thought possible. And she gets like a little clue here and a little clue here, and you're just following all these clues through the book. And so it is a mystery, big time. I also like that it takes place in Sausalito, California. That is really neat because she lives in a houseboat. I think it's pictured. Yeah, it's pictured here. You can see on the front. They don't live in just regular houses. They live on houseboats. I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew that people could like live in houses on the water, but that's literally like a house on a dock. That's a little scary to me. If there was any kind of hurricane or something, I don't know. I think they're more predominant in like the Gulf of Mexico area, but still that would make me a little nervous to have a full house on a dock in Sausalito. But yeah, I think it looks pretty neat. I was interested. It's a different take and a different place. I like that the story definitely keeps you interested because each chapter is a scene, and each one is like you get the clue and you're trying to figure out what this clue means, and then you move on to the next chapter, the next clue, and they all kind of tie in together, and it all makes sense at the end. I'm only going to say one thing. I was not happy with the ending. Like I understand it, and it makes sense. For the whole story, if it ended any other way, then it would kind of defeat the purpose of why Owen did what he did and why he chose, because he could have chosen multiple people to kind of protect her, take care of Bailey. He chose Hannah, his wife, for a reason, and once you figure out the ending, you know it couldn't have ended any other way. So it makes sense for the ending. I'm just mad about it, and I'm still upset about it, but still a good book, still true to the storyline, very good mystery, a lot of good clues, very clever, a lot of things where I'm just like hanging by a thread, like oh my gosh, and like just figuring out how she's like finding the information, and just like it makes you think outside the box, like if this happened to you and you needed to find out this information, what is another way that you would go about it? So that's neat. I enjoyed reading it. I hope you guys give it a read, and I am really super excited to go on Apple TV and watch the TV series now. I love Jennifer Gardner. I want to watch everything she's in. I haven't seen Jamie ever be in anything other than Game of Thrones, but I mean, I loved him on Game of Thrones. I liked all the characters on Game of Thrones, really, but I'm anxious to see him do something else and see him play opposite of Jennifer Gardner. So hopefully that's good. I'm really happy I bought it. I'm happy I read it. I do see why the hype. It was interesting. Like I said, short read. You guys could probably all get it, read it in a day, get it on Kindle. Yes, if you guys liked this book review, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day.